Hello, I'm Notes, and let's go to a request. I got a request from Twitter asking me to review Jorn, Lande's concept album Dracula, Swing of Death. First off, I have to thank you for this, because this was just way too awesome for me. So Dracula, the band. It comprises of two individuals, Jorn Lande. I knew about Jorn's work as a guest appearance from Arion's album 01011001. So I dove a bit deeper into Jorn's work because I only really knew him as a guest star on that. And I was just surprised to see just how large his resume was. This guy's been around, appearing in 2 to 3 dozen different projects just from the early 2000s alone. Sticking to the power metal that has been pretty prominent in Norway and most of Northern Europe. To name a few bands that he's been into, he's been in Master Plan, Ark, Beyond Twilight, Millennium, Vagabond, The Snakes. I mean, these names are just fantastic. But even with these names, nothing could prepare me for the second half of Dracula, Trond Holter. Trond is the guitarist for the Eurovision contestant band from 2005 called Wigwam. So who is Wigwam? That was amazing! Oh jeez. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that, oh, where do I even begin with that? I don't know why, but that was the most awesome thing I have seen in a very long time. Apparently not a whole lot of people know what Eurovision is, so if you don't know what Eurovision is,
I got thorns on my head, my pencil sharp and my eyes are red. Swing my heart, rock hallelujah. Demons and angels all in one have a right.
anyway, if this wasn't even good enough, just look at the band themselves. They kind of look like a Kiss/Village People. And if that wasn't even good enough, Trond's stage name is Teeny, with Glam on vocals, Flash on bass, and Sporty on drums. So Teeny and Jorn joined forces to create an amazing piece of music, Dracula, Swing of Death. Let's just take a look at Swing of Death. It is, from what I have already told you, it is exactly what you would expect from these two artists. It has been labeled a rock and roll horror show and a rock opera. And it wouldn't be too far from the truth. Musically, and more specifically, I would call it more of a gothic power glam metal concept album. So you've got the typical power metal chords with a very theatrical vocals. So conceptually, it's a fun little album about Dracula and his love for Mina Harker. The first half concentrates on Dracula's rise to power and existential crisis of being immortal and succumbing to his hunger. I like a lot of the religious symbols and images that are painted on the first half of this album, like Hands of Your God and the follow-up song with Walk on Water. Dracula is kind of like saying he was created by the hands of your god, but now he exists outside of that domain. Now he can literally walk on water. You know, almost like this Antichrist kind of a thing that Dracula has always been depicted as. And from these two songs, we come to Swing of Death, probably my second favorite song on this album. It starts off very smooth, jazz, bar scene kind of a song, and then it hits you almost like a Rocky Horror kind of vibe with that chorus. This is Dracula's entrance song if he were a Disney cartoon character. It has that very sexy, evil playfulness of Cruella or Scar or Ursula.
Just what you can give. You're such an easy catch and so naive.
Like stealing candy from a kid. The next card's out of my sleeve. Now,
if this was an animated feature film, this would definitely be his entrance song. And after this, we have the Masquerade Ball. And this is where he finds Mila Harker. He's starting to succumb to his hunger. And so it's a passionate song. It's his lament on his hunger and wanting to feast on her flesh. The guitar work on this song is just superb. It has almost a Spanish guitar work on it. And after the Masquerade Ball, we come to my favorite song, Save Me. And we're actually introduced to Mina in her glory on this. I love the chorus of this song. You know, save me from this love. Faith will save my soul. To live a life in misery, then die in dark eternity. This is a pretty powerful sentiment, and I want to take just a quick second just to deconstruct everything that was presented just within the chorus. Save me from this love. Now this is a really interesting kind of a concept. Does Mina love Dracula and she's acting out on it? Like, save me from this, I don't want it? Or does she recognize that she's under the spell of Dracula and wants none of it? Like, save me from this. And then we come to faith will save my soul. Again, using that religious symbols that are prominent whenever you're dealing with vampires. Does she really want to be saved? Does she hope that faith will relinquish her soul from her living body and into the vampire that she will become soon? So just deconstructing that one course is just a lot of fun for me, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. But after Save Me, we come to the second half of the record, and I have to say it is a bit of a letdown after the first half setup. It's very similar to a lot of stage performances when you come to an intermission. There's a balancing act that needs to happen where you want the audience to come back, so you need that powerhouse song, but you also don't want to make that song so powerful that it pales in comparison to the finale of the album. And I think this is what happens. That middle part was so powerful that by the time you get to the end, it's overshadowed. It's casted its shadow so far that it does kind of put a damper on the rest of the album. If the first half was focusing on Dracula and his rise to power, the second half is focusing on Mina. A lot of these songs are starting to get more into the melodramatic side of things. You know, you have that really cliche River of Tears, and we have the Queen of the Dead and Into the Darkness. It's not really that original at this point. And then we get to True Love Through Blood, and this is the only purely instrumental piece on the album, and it's a really powerful metal instrumental piece. It's really damn good. It mirrors the sound, it mirrors the tone and the atmosphere of the whole album, and it has some really fun guitar riffs thrown into it as well. It really allows Trond to just kind of stretch his legs a little bit and show us what he's got. And then finally, for the closing track, we have Under the Gun, a very strange title for a concept album dealing with Dracula. I do love the concept that Mina calls out Dracula on the biggest demon here is the one that is inside of you. Now this is a really nice touch, but as a closing track, it does leave me wanting more. In the end, and overall, this is a fun little album, and I had a hell of a lot of fun listening to it. It never takes itself too seriously, and when it does take itself seriously, it leaves you with a lot of fun things to think about. And that's about it. Check it out. If nothing else, it's a harmless little snack for those that love the gothic glam power metal. And I want to know what you guys think. Did you give it a spin? I'd love to hear it. And that's it. Notes out.